The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to RM Hive, and you're tuning into Reader's Magnet's featured author interview. I'm your host, Revan, and I'm here with a very special guest. He is the author of Suzy and the Bug. Everybody, let's all welcome Clifford Schauer. Hello, Clifford. Thank you for joining us today here at Reader's Magnet. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Okay, so before we start the interview proper, I would like to know who Clifford Schauer is. Can you share a little bit about yourself and your writing journey?
Yeah, I never thought I'd be a writer. I was in the Navy, and then after I got out of the Navy, I wound up in joining the Dallas Fire Department. And
Mm-hmm.
I was a fireman for 36 years.
Mm-hmm.
And after I got out, I had nothing to do, and I was trying to get my wife to write a story that I thought about the Lone Ranger, but
Mm-hmm.
but she never got to it, and so I decided I'd write, and I kind of wrote about my granddaughter and my cat, and
Mm-hmm.
I made a story out of that, and
Hmm.
that's when I started writing, and
So that
I,
also inspired the picture.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that's pretty much who I am.
Okay. So the book featured today from you is Suzy and the Bug. So can you tell us about what Suzy and the Bug is about?
Yeah, it's about a young girl and her cat,
Mm-hmm.
and they go to the park one day, and
Mm-hmm.
they bring a book with them called The Wizard of Oz,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
they fall asleep, and when they wake up, they're in the book. They're in Oz, and
Oh.
they look around and they see the Emerald City. And as they're looking at it, they see these flying monkeys
Mm-hmm.
attacking the city.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to the city and they meet the Tin Woodsman, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion,
Mm-hmm.
who are in charge of the city. And they tell them that they don't know why they're being attacked, and they've
Mm-hmm.
sent people to go where the wizard and witch are to find out why. But every time they send somebody, they meet three challenges, and in these challenges, nobody's ever made it past all three challenges. And although they've tried many times, and so Susie and the Bug offer to see if they can't get through,
Mm-hmm.
and they get volunteers from the city to go with them, and the adventure begins. It's a very interesting story.
It is really interesting. It's a really good take about Wizard of Oz, but there's this young girl that's went inside Wizard of Oz is very interesting to me as well.
Yeah,
So really
and
nice.
they meet the witch, and they're the children of the first witch that was melted.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Really
so
nice.
yeah,
So are you planning to make a sequel for this book?
I have two sequels. As a matter of fact, they've already been
Oh.
written, and one is Susie and the Bug meet Nessie, the Loch Ness
Mm-hmm.
monster, and
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Chasers, Susie and the Bug adventure, and
So
they
this
are also very interesting stories.
oh. So these are already available out there, correct?
Yes,
So what are these books again? So the sequel are
Susie and the Bug meet Nessie, the Loch Ness
mm-hmm,
monster,
mm-hmm.
and Ghost Chasers.
Okay. So for all our viewers out there, if you're so interested in Susie and the Bug, you can actually check this out on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, correct?
Yes,
And with the sequels as well. So they're already available called Susie and the Bug meets Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, and Ghost Chasers. So you can check them out on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles for all our viewers out there. So Clifford, how do you process and deal with negative book reviews?
well, I've had people read the book and that, and I've got good reviews, but then the traditional publishers just tells me that they're not interested in it. So it's hard
Mm-hmm.
to deal with rejection, but you
Yeah.
learn to get past it.
Yeah.
And
Also the other books are also receiving negative reviews, but they still flourish, right?
right,
And some of us actually buy them.
yeah, not as much as I'd like, but they are selling a little bit.
Yeah, the story is very interesting, so people really would buy it.
I think they are anyway.
Yeah.
And uh,
So let's talk about your book. What was the initial spark or idea that led to its creation?
well, I've had for the first book, I've always been a fan of The Wizard of Oz. Matter
Mm-hmm.
of fact, I just watched it again. I love the story.
Mm-hmm.
And then my granddaughter and the cat
Mm-hmm.
were part of my life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of issued the book out of them. It was very good.
Mm-hmm. So, for all the viewers out there, a while ago, Clifford and I actually had a little talk. So, I had prepared some extra questions here because we still have time. So, I actually want to ask this question. So, and because Clifford has a very interesting story, so I really want him to share it with you as well for our viewers. So, Clifford, how does your background or personal experiences influence the stories you create?
In the final book, Ghost Chasers,
Mm-hmm.
there's a part of it in there that's actually happened to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't believe it, let alone try to make other people believe it. And
Mm-hmm.
I had seen my after she died, I
Mhm.
had seen her a couple of times, and it's another part of the story is I was awakened just like that by a dog howling,
Mhm.
and my dog was named Merlin, and he was
Mhm.
already passed. It was like he was bringing Susie to
Mhm.
me, and because his howling woke me up,
Mhm.
and then later on, I was at the top of the stairs in the house looking down, and there was my cat Susie,
Mhm.
and I was wide awake, and she turned around and looked at me, and then a
Mhm.
ring of light appeared in front of me or downstairs, and she looked back and then
Mhm.
looked forward and jumped into the light, and then everything disappeared. The strangest thing that ever happened to me in my life.
You know what? I really love that story, which actually sparks of the interest in
Yeah,
writing.
it's like
Correct?
like like
Yeah.
spark like sparklers circling,
Yes. And
and uh,
it's really nice.
and I've heard that people jump into the light or go
Uh
into the
huh.
light, and that's what she did, and
Yes.
and I
Some
haven't seen her since.
yes. Some people might say, "Oh, it's really hard to believe." Yes, it's hard to believe, but
Yes, it is,
it happened. Yeah.
and it was hard for me to believe. Uh,
Yeah. Even for you, it's hard for you to believe.
and that's in my I've put that in my Ghost Chasers story.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes. And it's also like it's actually also like the story of Susie in the Bug where they actually went inside the book, but right here it's the cat that went inside. The light is like
Oh
The
yeah, and
cat
the
is
cat.
having his own adventure.
Well, the cat, and when it gets in the book, can talk.
Uh-huh.
See, and
Very
when she's
interesting.
out,
Yeah.
she can't. So
Yeah.
that's a little special to put in there.
Very
And
special.
cat's very smart.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have, as a children's book writer, do you have tips for aspiring writers out there who are watching us?
I, I really can't believe that I'm writing, so I don't have much that I can tell someone other than follow your dream. Do if you want to write, don't stop. I've tried to encourage other people, and I've got a friend that I think is a hell of a writer, but he just doesn't want to do it. So,
Yeah,
but he likes the horror stories.
yeah. Same to me. I also love horror stories, you know.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So for all our viewers out there, so for the aspiring writers who are viewing us right now, so Clifford said to never stop dreaming and write. So
And
so just
don't worry about being told you can't because you can.
yes, don't worry about being told you can't because you can. I'm
Right.
actually writing that down in my notes. Thank you so much for that idea as well. So, do you have other projects that we need to look forward to in the future?
I'm writing a story called Fallout Will Follow, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much done. I just put in the final touches on it, and it's a
Oh.
story about World War II, the atomic bomb, and the people getting problems with their health
Mm-hmm.
after they've been exposed to the bomb. And it's kind of a conspiracy, government conspiracy story.
So it's called Fallout Will Follow.
Fallout will follow.
Oh, okay. So it's in the work. So for all you guys out there who are going to be fans of Clifford Schauer, he has a new book coming out. It's still in the development process. So it's called Fallout. What's the title again?
Fallout will follow.
Fallout Will Follow, about a World War II story. So, Clifford, I'm going to give you the time to promote your book and the sequels of your book because you have the copies right there. So, where we can find them and your website as well.
Right. So what I was, what do you need?
Uh, promote. You
Promote
can
my,
promote your
promote
book right
my
now.
book?
Yes, yes, yes,
All
yes.
right. Here we go. Ghost Chasers. And that actually was a story. I was going to do a podcast
Mm-hmm.
with Ghost Chasers, and it was three separate stories.
Mm-hmm.
And the podcast never materialized. And so I took the three stories and made it into one story.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, And I think it's a pretty good story. And that's
Yes.
so it's actually three stories in one, and you can kind of see the separate,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it's a very interesting story, especially towards the end where the
Mm-hmm.
the story at the stairs looking down and is in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second is Susie and the Bug meet Nessie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a story about people hating and getting over it, and it's a very interesting story. And Susie and the Bug have to go into a town that really doesn't want them there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all set in the Loch Ness
Uh-huh.
area in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about as much as I can tell you.
Okay. So for all of viewers out there, we have Clifford Showers, Susie and the Bug, and the sequels as well. Susie and the Bug meets Nessie, the Loch Ness monster, and Ghost Chasers, The Suzy and the Bug Adventures, available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. And you can also check them out on www.readersmagnet.com. So thank you so much for joining us today, Clifford. And by the way, his website is www.cliffordschauer.com. You can actually check his books in the website as well. So again, that's www.cliffordschauer.com. So it has been an awesome time with you, Clifford. Thank you
You
so much
too.
for joining us here at Readers Magnet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so everyone, Clifford Schauer, the author of Suzy and the Bug, again available at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and you can also check out his books on www.readersmagnet.com and www.cliffordschauer.com. And once again, thank you for spending time with us here at Readers Magnet. So, guys, let us open the pages and unravel the secrets of your personal odyssey. And I believe that your ink never runs dry. So go tell your story, you storyteller. And this is your host, Revan. And as we say it here at Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Bye now. Stay awesome.
Bye.